Should Canada have more American-style gun laws? My short answer is no. I don't think Canada should have more American-style gun laws. That said, I do feel there are things we can learn from the US that we can apply and make it better for ourselves as Canadians and as a country in itself. What's up guys, Magic Knives here, and in today's video we're watching some Saiga 12 shotgun gameplay, aka known as the or dubbed as the KV Broadside in the game. Personally, the Saiga 12 I think is one of the coolest shotguns out there. My personal one of my personal favorites, because I like the fact that it's semi-auto and it's magazine fed. But yeah, in this game, what in my opinion, like the Saiga 12 in this game, it's okay. It's not the best though. I mean, it can still kill in one shot, but you have to be up close, and if you want to kill in one shot at a further distance, you're gonna have to use slugs. And the slugs, you will have to be more precise with your aim, and you can't really hip fire much. I mean, you can spray, which, you know, in that case you're not going to be one-shotting people, but you do kind of have to take more precise aim with the Saiga 12. You kind of have to treat it like a semi-automatic sniper, if you will, right? You want to make sure you're taking aim with your shots before you pull that trigger and fire at your opponent. So yeah, that's how I feel with the Saiga 12. Like, if you want to run with it, it's a great gun. Like, it's a good gun if you extend the barrel, which I did, and you know, put a good sight on it, you know, and use it with the mindset of like taking precise aim with your shots, like you would with a sniper rifle before shooting. Alright, so that's my little 2-cent advice for you when using the Saiga 12 in Modern Warfare 2. So yeah, that's that. Now, the question that I'm bringing up in this commentary: Canada is in a very bad state right now with its gun laws, and it's probably the worst anti-gun movement in the history of Canada. It sucks balls right now to be a gun owner in Canada, because we've been forced to give up so much. We've given up our AR-15s. We've given up the ability to. We've been forced to give up our ability to buy or sell handguns. So even new shooters, they can't buy handguns now for any purposes. And yeah, so it really sucks. Now, some people ask, and I kind of, you know, think about this myself, and is that, you know, we have a lot of times we get compared to the United States, because obviously the United States is known for having a, you know, huge array of, you know, gun rights, you know, always falling back on their Second Amendment, right? And the question is, should Canada have more American style gun laws? And firstly, that question itself, you can't just say American style gun laws, because firstly, it varies from state to state. Every state has its own specific laws when it comes to guns, whether you have the right to conceal carry, open carry, or, you know, do that stuff, right? Now, of course, you know, when it comes down to just overall, like as a federal overlay, like, yes, we do have the Second Amendment in general, but when you're in this particular state, whatever the law is with the states, with the state that you're in, that is what you have to follow. Canada has an advantage or disadvantage, depending on how you look at it, is we have just federal. We have no provincial specific laws when it comes to guns, at least not to the extent of how the United States runs it. So it's yeah, with America it varies widely from state to state, right? So, but if we're just breaking it down to the core, right? In America, you if you want to get a gun, you just simply pass a background check, and then once you pass it, you are pretty much good to go from there. You can just buy whatever gun. Certain guns, obviously, like I think handguns, obviously you have a certain waiting period in some states, I believe. Don't quote me, I am not the biggest expert when it comes to American laws, but that's the gist of it, right? There's no formal training. You don't have to go through a licensing process in order to own a gun, because in America, owning a gun is a God-given right. It is a personal right in America, right? Because the right, the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That'll always be the backbone of Americans' right to own guns and use guns. And yeah, no formal training is required. I mean, the only time is, like, I guess, as far as I'm aware, right? If you want to have a concealed carry permit, you have to pass a background check, and I'm relatively certain you have to get a certain, like, you have to attend a training or something, right? Canada, we have to have a firearms license in order to buy guns. You have to obviously, like, pay to sign up for the class and pass the test and everything, and then once you pass the test, you submit your application. You wait a couple months, and then you finally get your license, and you can buy pretty much whatever is available to citizens in Canada. Now at that point, right, like, that is the big difference. With Canada, you need a license, but your main purposes in Canada is either for owning a gun is you're hunting or you're sport shooting and just having fun. That's it. America, you have much more different rights. You can hunt, you can do sports shooting, you can, and most importantly for them, you have the right to protect your life as a means of self-defense, whether you're in public or you're protecting your home. So you have your stand your ground and your castle laws. Now, there have been many cases in a sense where American citizens have taken this too far, or they kind of they take this too far to a point when they accidentally shoot somebody, happens to be their child or just somebody who accidentally went on the property and they had no intent of robbing them or threatening them and stuff like that. See, that's where I feel like with Americans, a lot of people, like, just because they pass a background check, they don't have the proper training when it comes to handling firearms and being able to positively identify their targets and knowing, like, hey, this is a good person, this is a good guy, or somebody I know that is my family. I shouldn't be shooting, I shouldn't be aiming the gun at them. Canada, like, we take firearm training really seriously. We're the most scrutinized citizens in Canada. We get a criminal background check every single morning when we are a licensed gun owner or just a licensed gun person, right? So, like, when it comes down to it, guys, like, I don't think we should be like America in the sense that, oh, we just have to have a background check. We should, have the ability to just buy whatever once we pass a background check. Like, no, I personally don't think any person should just be able to buy a gun just by passing a background check, right? It's the exact same thing. Like, if somebody passes a background check and they are legal age to drive, I'm not just gonna give them the keys and start driving my car, because fuck it, they're gonna risk crashing my car, or they're gonna kill themselves or kill somebody else. Like, there's a reason why you have to pass a test in order to get your driver's license. To me, it's the same thing with guns. You should be trained in order to use the gun. Now in the US, training is not mandatory, right? Like, yeah, that comes secondary. That's up to you. I don't think that's right. I think when it comes down to it, like, yes, we should be allowed to have ability to buy whatever guns we want to hunt, sport shoot, or especially, most importantly to me, we should have the right to buy a gun to protect ourselves, concealed carry, home defense, all that. That said, I do appreciate the fact that we have these licensing procedures in order to qualify people to have the ability to and right to own a gun, because I don't want to be on the range and just have somebody who is not, just because he passed a background check, I'm not going to trust the fact that he might accidentally shoot himself while he's next to me, or accidentally point the gun at me and shoot me by mistake, right? Like, just because you pass a background check, to me, that doesn't qualify you enough to handle a firearm. Until you have clear qualification that you can safely handle a firearm, I think that's important. And that's one thing I always feel that Canada has an advantage over the United States or America, that we do have a proper system that vets people to making sure they know how to handle firearms safely before just letting them get a gun and whatever, right? Now, of course, like I said, I do think some elements of, America, it should be we should have the simple ability to be able to defend ourselves with a gun, concealed carry, and home defense, all that stuff. We shouldn't have to do that with knowing there's a risk of us being charged and arrested, right? As long as we are on fair terms and reasonable grounds to defend ourselves, we shouldn't have to risk facing punishment from the government. All right, so that's my opinion, guys. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay and the commentary, guys. Hope to see you guys in my future videos. Until next time, peace out, guys.